Hey y'all, it's Kara. We're working in the garden, new space that we're putting together over here next to the garage. It's an absolutely gorgeous spring day here today. I think the temperature is about 70 degrees Fahrenheit, but it is one of those days where I keep going back and forth between wanting a jacket and not wanting a jacket. Standing here in the sunshine right now with no breeze, it feels fantastic and just the perfect temperature. But see, as soon as I start to feel the breeze, I'm like, oh, I want a little bit of a jacket. I'm gonna grab a jacket. I keep taking it off and on, and I just can't quite make up my mind. So if you see me going jacket, no jacket, that's why. I just bought 2 new plants for this landscaped area here behind us, and it doesn't look like much right now, but there are over 20 roses in the ground right now. My husband and I and the kids planted a bunch of them last night, and let me just show you what the roses look like right now, and then I'll show you the 2 new plants that I just bought for this space. If we back up a little bit, let me scoot back a little farther, you can see kind of the entrance of it. So this propane tank here, I'm going to be cutting out this grass, and the bed will be going from all the way against the garage over to where our play fort is, which is right there behind the bird feeder, and it's going to be a full bed there. So I bought some other perennials today that are kind of large to fill in this big dirt space right here. So the perennials I bought will be going there, but let me just show you over here what we're starting with. So if we come down here, I've already showed you in a previous video the hollies and other little evergreen bushes that I got at Costco the other day. But then these sticks, basically, that you see in the ground here going this entire way are roses. Now I'll do a tour of what each variety looks like as things bloom and actually look like something. Right now they all just kind of look like sticks. I told you I was gonna keep changing my mind. I just took off my jacket and sat down again because, you know, the weather just keeps changing. It's one of those days. Here at my feet I have the 2 plants that I picked up this morning. The first one, I may have mentioned on a previous video that I was hoping to find one of these, but it is a viburnum. This viburnum specifically is a Chinese snowball viburnum, which I had called around to a couple of my go-to nurseries that I visit to see if they had any in stock, and they didn't. But then one nursery that was quite a ways away from my house had one, but it was a beautiful day for a drive this morning, so the kids and I made the trek out there. I always like visiting nurseries too, so I could spend hours just looking at plants and getting inspiration and daydreaming. But I only ended up with 2 plants today. I showed restraint. I definitely saw a lot more plants and varieties and species of things that I would have liked to buy, but I only bought 2 plants. You should be very proud of me. That's all I purchased. And this is the one I came for. So I got success, the one I drove over an hour to go get. So the snowball viburnum bush will get quite large. This one, you can see the flower heads starting to form on this. It will have beautiful, white, vibrant, snowball looking flower heads like the name suggests. I have a lot of limelight hydrangeas, which produce really pretty cone-shaped white flowers in the spring and summer. And the snowball viburnum will have a white-shaped flower that is kind of similar, just slightly different shape than the limelight hydrangea. Now, the snowball viburnum bush will get quite large. It gets larger than the limelight hydrangea, which I do have some other limelight hydrangeas, which, surprise, we're gonna be putting those here as well. And those are just ones I have in a different area around the house. I'm going to transplant over to here, which I'm really glad I didn't have to go out and buy those because those were expensive in the nursery today. I did take a look at them and I'm glad I already have some that I can transplant. The range of size for the snowball viburnum kind of varies depending on what source you look at online. Some websites say it only gets 8 feet tall and wide. Some say it gets up to 12 feet tall and wide, and I even saw one that said 20. So I think it kind of depends on your area and your growing zone, but it definitely seems like it gets bigger than the limelight hydrangeas. So I think it'll be a nice big back border focal point for this garden bed here. Now, the second plant I bought, I was not intending on buying, but the variegated leaf on it just looked so pretty and I wanted to buy it. And it was actually a pretty good price too. Ooh, this one's heavier than the other. This one is a Ligustrum privet, or Ligustrum privet, however you pronounce it. It has the prettiest like glow to it, I feel like. I'll have to get a shot and some better lighting here for y'all. But the little leaves on it are all variegated with a pale kind of lime green, almost yellow white with a darker green in the center. And the wispy branches I thought would be really good to cut and add as some filler foliage for bouquets. So I was excited to snag that one. Let's measure out our spacing for these and get our holes dug and get these into the ground. I forgot to film the digging process, but the holes are dug here all along the side. And so we're ready to actually put these things in the ground. Let me step back a little bit and I'll show you where we're gonna put things. So I decided that I want the big snowball viburnum to kind of be the back focal point. So here next to the arbor, we have a little sky pencil holly, and then that big hole right there is where the Chinese snowball viburnum will go. And there's another birch tree there. So it'll kind of like fill in that space a little bit and hopefully, you know, not make this garden bed seem like it ends abruptly, but that it kind of ends with that big wall of the viburnum. And then the privet, which is right here, will go in the next hole. And then I'm thinking that I'm just gonna do limelight hydrangeas the rest of the way in these other holes. I need to see and count how many I have exactly over around the other corner of the house to transplant. I should have enough, but if not, I'll just wait and leave those holes till I do have enough. I want to show you this privet again up close because I think the lighting's a little better and you can see all the color variegation on those leaves. So here's what the privet looks like. For some reason on the phone, it looks more yellow. It's definitely much more white in person, but I think it's really pretty. I hear my dog whimpering, but I don't see him. Kind of weird. It's like the noise he makes when he's trapped somewhere and needs to get out. Oh, there he is. Spotted him. He's just over at the back door whimpering. He wants to go inside the house. Inside each of the holes, I use Biotone starter fertilizer. The wind noise was absolutely terrible in this clip here. I apologize for that. I do have a new microphone coming in the mail soon to hopefully help with the audio in some of the videos. I had one that I ordered a few weeks ago, but it wasn't really cutting it for me. But I was just explaining that the Biotone starter is what I'm putting in each of the holes. Lucy's sitting here. Let's angle this down and we'll get this in the hole. All right. This has quite the root mass on the bottom. It's a little deep. Need to bring up the soil level ever so slightly so that that soil level stays the same. That looks pretty good. All right, now let's move on to the privet and get that one planted. I think I did my math wrong. I'm just sitting here, haven't planted the privet yet. I think I measured wrong. So I was measuring 6 feet off the viburnum, and that's where I put the hole. But I forgot to take into account that the privet will also get large. So I need to account for half the size of the privet and add that onto the 6 feet, which is half the size of the viburnum. The hole's in the wrong spot. Well, I'm just gonna leave this hole, move the privet down into the next hole, and plant something smaller here in the meantime. I think that's a good game plan. That way I don't have to dig another hole and rearrange everything. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, especially when it comes to measuring. I don't always take the time to double measure and triple check my work. But that's why I have my husband, because he's really good at measuring and double checking everything. But I did the measurement for all of these holes myself, which is why it didn't work out. Now that we have those planted, let me grab my shovel. Oh, here we go. And we will walk around and dig up those hydrangeas that we need to transplant. The hydrangeas are around the front of the house. At least one of them is. Oh, these are so pretty. Hold on. Had to flip around the camera for a second to show you the hyacinths blooming. Every day it seems like more and more of them are popping up, and they just smell so fragrant and so lovely. I love hyacinths. All right, here in this corner is one of the hydrangeas. See this little stick right here? That's a limelight hydrangea. And we need to dig this one up because every summer it gets buried and choked out by this big grass. I have some drip tubing irrigation I need to just slide over a little bit. Move my mulch back. You can see how red our clay dirt is here underneath the hydrangea. Oh wow, you can see the roots coming down out of it. I wonder if I could just pull out the roots without having to cut some of them. Look at that big root. That was all just shooting laterally across the top of the dirt there. I could just pull a couple of these big ones out without breaking all of them. Yeah, here's my little limelight hydrangea. I was pretty sure that's what the variety was, but it's always nice to have confirmation from a plant label. There you go. Let's carry this over. Oh, we're losing a lot of dirt. I did not get as much as the root ball as I hoped, but not bad for a little stick I stuck in the ground last summer. All right. Coming over here, it already looks so much better with that privet there in the corner. Adds a nice cheery pop of green. Let's go ahead and put this hydrangea in the hole right next to it. All right, one limelight hydrangea down. Man, I wish I had a ponytail today. It's starting to get hot. One more to go, at least. I see another one over here that I want to dig up. The little breeze keeps blowing my hair into my face. And I am somebody who can't stand to have my hair in my face. So I really wish I had a pony. I mean, I'd love a pony horse too. Ponytail specifically. I want to fix this hole before we dig up the other one. I wanted to get those roots in the ground as fast as possible so I didn't fill the hole back in. Cover it back up with the mulch. I buried some of these irises here. Expose some of those rhizomes again. Bring in the sun. There you go. Beautiful. Right. Wrapping around to this front garden bed. This hydrangea right here is the next victim to be transplanted. I don't know if I should say victim. It's next candidate. How about that? Wow, look how rich this dirt looks over here. This root goes out really far. All right, where'd you got to get those roots to chop? With the shovel. Feels like it's attached somewhere still. like this actually might be 2 plants growing together. Whew. There we go. Nope, that's all one plant. Oh, that hole needs to get a lot bigger.
You need to dig a plate?
Yes, please. Let's see if this is deep enough. I might need to go deeper. What do you think? Deeper. Well, the little boss man spoke. This hole definitely needs to get a lot bigger, and I knew that anyway. But I might have to wait till this evening for that part. Thanks for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed the little plant haul and planting session. Bye y'all.